It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, getting you ready for tonight's Utah State basketball game.
Step back, got it!
With longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, and one of USU's best ever, Jalen Moore, breaking down the game. Plus, feature interviews with players and coaches, and all the information on the college basketball scene. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Daryl's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's the KVNU Aggie Game Day pregame show.
Well, the Mountain West dominant team of history is San Diego State. The Aztecs have 15 titles in the 24 years in this league. 9 of those are regular season championships, but today they're after their Mountain West Tournament Championship number 7. Isn't it ironic that our Aggies have a 7-game win streak to try to prevent that into the game today? No doubt about it, these are the 2 hottest teams in the conference that will go after each other for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons in the final game at Thomas & Mack Center today. Utah State's won 2 of those matchups, and the Aztecs have 1. Odds makers see it pretty close. I was just noticing San Diego State's only about a 1.5 favorite in this game. We know we're going to see a great defensive club against a really good offensive basketball team in the Aggies, and the team that has really showed us a lot of resolve. 2 memorable comebacks during this win streak by Utah State really do stick out, and last night was one of them, outscoring Boise State, who had clamped down on them in the first half. It was 44-26 in the second half, though. Aggies win by 10, 72-62, to get to the game today. Coach Ryan Odom?
And so we just encouraged our guys at halftime to be us in a lot of ways. Give one another space. Try to work to get open harder. Be tough with the ball when you first catch it. All the things that these guys know, but were getting away from us, in the first half. And I think, once we began to settle in and into the second half, close the gap a little bit, our guys began to feel, some juice there, and you kind of saw how the ending went.
And Utah State really made a good team. Boise State looked bad in the second half, and maybe they can do it again today. For San Diego State, they held San Jose State, the real story of this conference run this year, to only a Mountain West tournament record 49 points, 64-49. That's their, again, 15th ever and 6th in a row title game going today. Was, the defense that they played in that game. And Keyshawn Johnson, you went against the player of the year in the conference. Was that the best defensive game you've had this year?
We got a lot of great defensive performances, and this was just another one to add on to that long list. We all came connected, had the right game plan. Kudos to our coaches to get us right mentally and make sure we knew the task that we had ahead of us. So we was just ready for everything that came with today's game.
That's one of the real explosive athletes they have on this team. But let's now set it up for the 4 o'clock Channel 2 national television game today for the Mountain West title, Utah State, San Diego State. And hi, everybody. It is Al Lewis along with Jalen Moore. And I wonder, Jalen, if we even thought we'd be at this spot a year ago this time. We did get to the NIT after they'd lost in the quarterfinals of the tournament, won 1 game down there. They were 18-16. Our 2 leading scorers were gone. We were 8th selection going to this year. But you know what, Jalen? We've seen this before, this script of the Aggies and the Aztecs playing for the title.
Yeah, we definitely have, and it makes for some good games. A lot of them have been down to the wire. They've been entertaining. A lot of good things happen, and both these teams are playing at a high level. I think you probably got the 2 hottest teams in the Mountain West going against each other right now in the final. Obviously going to be 2 teams that definitely solidified their spot of being in the NCAA tournament. One's going to get an automatic bid. It's been a fun tournament so far. It's been entertaining. Both these teams have been through some grueling games, some tough games to make it to this point. And I kind of don't expect this game to be any different. I truly think it's going to be a dogfight of a game, and it's going to come down to a lot of things, a lot of the little things that take place in a basketball game for the winner that wins this game.
And I want to talk about that a little bit later on here about some of those things. Now, remember, Sam Merrill's team won it in 2019. And in 2020, that's when he hit the great shot that's probably the most memorable in Aggie history now, to win that second title. 2021, Nemish Kate is still on the team. Aggies get to the final game, but he and Justin Bean came up a little bit short. And, of course, now our star for this team. I mean, and again, we've got a team that does have a lot of stars, but our real leader is Stephen Ashworth.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's the next game on our schedule, and it's a big game. It's the championship game, and it's what we've been working for all summer. We say it every single breakdown that we want to be playing for the Mountain West Championship, and we know how good this league is and how much of an accomplishment that is already. But we're not just happy to be here. We have something still to prove, and we know how great they are, and we know that we got to play our best basketball because, like you said, they came into our building and beat us. But we're really excited that at 3 o'clock we get 40 more minutes to go out and try to prove ourselves and, once again, as we say, play Aggie basketball.
That was Stephen last night. But, Jalen, you'd have to say 2 real interesting games in some ways. Kind of some interesting stories within the games in each one of the 2 that Utah State has played and lost to San Diego State this year.
Yeah, for sure. And like people always say, there's hard to beat a team 3 times, So hopefully, third time's a charm for us, and we go out and make the adjustments we needed to. We had our chances to beat them at home. It was a low-scoring defensive affair. We know that that's what San Diego State's going to do. They're going to try to pressure us, try to make us turn the ball over. We got to make sure we take care of the ball, which we've been doing a good job of. Because San Diego State is one of those teams where, we have turned it over a few times in live ball turnovers. They'll go get some baskets that way. So we got to make sure that we take care of it that way. But the first 2 games, San Diego State got big at home. We were able to come back and compete with them. And the game at our place was pretty back and forth. So we have showcased that we can play with them. But like we said, there's just a couple of those little things that we're going to have to do this game for us to get over the top. And that's obviously going to be one of the big things, obviously, is we're going to definitely have to execute offensively and play that high level of offense that we've been playing in the tournament so far. But you also know that San Diego State's going to ramp up that defense because of the way that we have been playing offensively.
I think you've got a real key there is that we've got to make sure we score the basketball when we get a chance. Because in the 2 games, one at San Diego State was at January 25th. And remember, Seiko hits the 5 3-pointers during, a 16-0 run or 18-0 run that they had, got them out to a 15-point lead. But the Aggies did fight back to get it to 6 before they lost the game 85-75. And after the game, again, just Seiko getting away was kind of a big deal, and the Aggies defense didn't take care of it, right, Taylor Funk?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty balanced game. Take away those shots in the first half by him. Proud of the guys, keeping the heads up. Coach called timeout. Just kind of get our thoughts right. And, I'm really proud of these guys. Just battled the whole game.
Battled the whole game down there, but did come up 10 points short. And then remember the one here in Logan. It was a 20-4 Aztec run. There's one of those runs in the first half. They get up by 16. We have the skirmish going to the timeout. We had our 2 guys off the bench thrown out of the game, and our assistant coach there, Darion Trammell, had to leave the game because he came off the bench. The Aggies hit 9 of the first 12 in the second half, get the game back into a close one. It's a 9-0 run late in the game by the Aggies to get it to 62-61. Then Max Shulga had that shot. He's made some big ones. He did miss that shot there. And so, again, we lose the game 63-61. All-time San Diego State has beaten the Aggies 17-9 wins for Utah State. But in the last 5 seasons, the Aggies have won 6, 2 of them in championships. And over the 10 years of the Mountain West, this will be the 6th time that we have played in Vegas. And Jalen, like you've talked about many times this year, the Aztecs are always good on defense. But the little different deal this year is they have more capable offensive guys. And Matt Bradley's kind of the big name, but it's not all just him on this team.
No, it's not, and they're actually pretty similar to us as well in the fact that they have a lot of people that can affect the game offensively and can actually beat you. In the past they used to have 1 or 2 guys that they kind of went through. Those were their go-to guys. They were superstars. They end up playing in the NBA, whatever it could be. That's kind of what their teams were made of before. They had 1 guy that was really good offensively, 5 guys really good defensively. Well, now they got 5 guys that are good offensively and 5 guys that are good defensively. So, I think their coach has done it. I think Dutcher's going to good job of building the team offensively. I think he knows that they will always be there defensively and rebounding-wise, but he knew that, the way that the basketball game is changing, you got to go get guys that can do things offensively. He's done a good job of getting guys that can shoot the ball more. They can shoot free throws better. They can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. Like I said, it used to be 2 or 3 guys on a roster that could do that for them. And this year they have a lot, almost, 6, 7 guys down to the bench, some guys that can hurt you as well. And that's what makes them a little bit better this year than I think they have been in the past years.
Let's even go further. They have 9 guys they play, and every one of those 9, as Coach Dutcher said last night, has led him in scoring sometime.
I was looking at a locker room where I think 9 different players had led us in scoring this year. So I said, I don't know whose night it's going to be, but if we play the right way, we'll have enough of you that make the right plays and put up points for us to win. So our depth is our strength. So I think everybody on the team has led us in scoring. And so tonight it was Darian and Keshad. It might be Nate, could be Jaden, anybody. Anybody on our team is capable of scoring the ball because we play the right way. We share it. We're not a one guy that we go to constantly, the same guy. We probably play team basketball. We move it around, and who's ever having that hot night, it seems to find them.
And it was Trammell and Johnson last night, their leading scorers. But you just hit on it a few minutes ago, Jalen. They're kind of like our team in a lot of ways. I think Coach Odom feels very similar, that there's lots of places he can go to. But again, number 11 in adjusted defense in America. Now, they were not really that connected, I felt like, against Colorado State. They barely won on Thursday. But, boy, they were in it from the start last night because you could tell they had the player of the year, Amori Moore, and they hold him to 7. And like we said, that 49 that San Jose scored last night's a conference tournament low ever. They were really on it last night with the defense, and it did lead to the one run, 18-4, in the first half that got them off to the win in the game last night offensively.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously a team like San Diego State, they went out, they underperformed against Colorado State and almost ended up losing that game. So, obviously they went back to the locker room, but went back to the drawing board, knew they had to make some adjustments. Knew they had to can't make the same mistakes they made. And obviously they knew that they got to crack down defensively and play better offensively. And honestly, they went and did all those things. Their defense is awesome. You only hold a team at this point in the season to 49 points. Your defense is doing something right, especially the player of the year only getting 7. I thought they did a good job defensively, and they were definitely on it. And honestly, I don't think you should expect anything differently from them this game. And you look at our team, and we've been on it the 2 games that we've played too. Defensively, we looked good yesterday, and offensively in these first 2 games, we looked good. So like I said, I think you're really getting a matchup between the 2 hottest teams in this conference, and both teams are playing offense pretty well, and both teams are playing defense pretty well. So like I said earlier, I think it's going to come down to some of those little things that affect the basketball game of who could potentially be this winner today.
Stephen Ashworth last night did go past 1,000 points in his Aggie career, and they're obviously going to center on him. He's got a 6-game streak of a 20-point average going. You have Taylor Funk off of 32 and 24 before he only had 7 last night, but he added 10 boards. But I think what you're talking about, I know Brian Dutcher feels like he's got 5 guys he can put on the floor to match up with our 5 guys, but at least they are going to have to cover 5 guys for us because we've seen moments of time, and again, we saw it last night. Shulga, Bairstow, Aiken, RJ, at times those guys were the guys who were our go-to guy, and the Aggies got it done last night against Boise State.
Yeah, and exactly like I said, obviously they're going to prepare for the way that Steven and Taylor Funk can shoot threes. They know that they're going to have to do a good job. They can shoot it from deep with consistency, so they know that they're going to have to get up. They're going to have to run them off the 3-point line. But like I said, our team's so well balanced that you can't just solely square up on those 2 guys. You have to do a good job on everybody. If you do only focus on those 2 guys, then that's where a Bairstow ends up hurting you, a Shulga or Akin. And like you said, San Diego State has the good matchups to match up with our team. But if they focus too much on those 2 guys, we have other pieces that are going to hurt them. So they're going to have to almost play 5-on-5 straight-up defense. Obviously, you got to make people do things that they're not comfortable with and get them out of their comfort zone. But if they don't do that or they focus too much solely on a couple different players, that's where our team's going to come in and hurt them.
All right, Jalen, we will continue to get these matchups going of Utah State and San Diego State in this championship game coming up here. It's, again, on Channel 2. It'll start at 4 o'clock for the game today, and then we'll be on immediately right after the game. KVNU Aggie Game Day brought to you in part by DD Auto and Salvage. They'll pay you the most for your junk vehicles you have around. If you want to take care of any metal needs that you have around your yard, they'll do that as well. 787-1204. Give them a call. Daryl's Appliance, still open on the Benson Road in Benson for the great brand names of appliances. And, of course, always the best in service, and advanced heating and air conditioning. Again, always you can save new on big heating systems and get some really good deals right now on some of the best names around. It's been a brutal winter, and who knows what comes in summer, but a year-round great system for your home, your business, from advanced heating and air conditioning. They bring you game day. We'll be right back. Aggies and Aztecs coming up, top of the hour on Channel 2.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
You've been putting up with a dirty, dusty wood stove for years. Why haven't you changed it? Go to Advanced Fireplace and Stove in Logan. Look through their showroom for ideas on Quadra-Fire pellet and wood stoves and Heat and Glow gas fireplaces. They have several demos in place so you can see firsthand how your project will look. And you can trust the pros at Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They'll do the job right. Advanced Fireplace and Stove. 752-7272. Online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain to climb. This is Brett Green, president of Cache Valley Bank. To conquer this mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Life is good. Life at My Mattress is good too. Why might I say that? Because today is a good day to slay a Goliath. The other day I went into a mattress store here in Logan that has 2,500 stores across the country. I'd say that's a Goliath. We were 20% less expensive on every bed that we both offer. We may not have 2,500 stores, but we are number one in Cache Valley. Better product and better prices. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat on News Talk KVNU.
They have the ability to do that. They can blitz you in a half, whether it's the first or the second, and obviously neither is good. You want to make sure that you're within striking distance of this team at all times and put them in a game.
We were just talking again earlier about that they took San Jose 18-4 after San Jose had an early lead, but it wasn't really much of a lead, and then 18-4, and they were out of it. Remember, it was 16-0 with or 18-0 Seiko making those shots in that run down there. We mentioned it was an 18-point halftime lead after they went 20-4 in the first half on the Aggies in the game that was played in Logan earlier this year. So again, that's kind of the deal. When they're really good on defense and now better on offense, again, that's where they can start to make those runs really happen. You've got to be able to counter. I thought after the game in Logan, one thing I wanted to point out was what Stephen Ashworth said after the game for this team. Remember, this happened again after they'd started into February where they felt like they had this schedule change at home and they could get some things done. Now, they did lose to San Diego State and to San Jose, but the Aggies have won 10 of the last 12 to get to where they are today.
We are one of the top teams in the Mountain West. We're right there with everybody. We wish that we could have had a different outcome to prove a little bit more tonight. Another thing to learn is that you can't give the best team in the Mountain West right now a 16-point lead at halftime.
See, and that's where it was, Jalen Moore, as we bring you back in. Stephen joined your 1,000-point club last night as an Aggie. Did you know the Mountain West put this out, Jalen? Stephen Ashworth is one of 3 Division I players ever to have 100 three-pointers, 100 made free throws, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists in the same season. 2 of them have been in the Mountain West all time, Jimmer Fredette and now Stephen Ashworth. How about that?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's been doing, and like we said, a lot of people just know him, think he's just one of those guys that's a really good three-point shooter, but he really does do it all. He facilitates, he rebounds. He's a great communicator on the court, and obviously, you put him to the free throw line, he's most likely going to make those. And on top of that, he is a great scorer and shooter. So, he gets it done every night out, and like you said, he does more for our team than just be that shooter. If you watch him communicate the way he has gotten better defensively, he's made a lot of improvements in his game, and he's steadily, increasing and getting better at the perfect time of this season, leading into obviously this championship game tonight and the NCAA tournament. And that's the direction that we needed him to be going, as well as our team, and they're going in that right direction.
No, yesterday in the game, I thought first half, that freshman Whiting came in, picked his pocket a couple of times. And Stephen did that one little run where he made 8 points in a row in the first half, but that was really it. And in the second half, he's got 3 fouls. He got 2 of them in the last minute of the first half to continue to play Jalen like he did. And then you notice last night, he was the guy who had the crowd going. He was talking to the team, and we're going to get into a segment about that here. In fact, last night, Max Shulga and Stephen Ashworth were both asked about how R.J. Idlerock responded. Remember, R.J. Idlerock in the game, he had a play called where there was a flop in the backcourt. He went down. He got a layup. Earlier he'd had that drive where he'd gone into Degenhart. They'd called the charge on, everybody thought it was going to be a charge on RJ. It wasn't on Degenhart. He was involved in some of those plays. You could tell that RJ was a little bit there. And Stephen kind of went to him, kind of talked to him, soothed him down, said, come on, let's just take care of the game and all those kind of stuff. So again, those are big moments that Stephen has kind of done for this team, I think, and so it kind of showed in that one a little bit last night in the game. And RJ. It was really neat, wasn't it, last night to have this senior, again, who has decided to come back when it looked like he had decided not to come back into this year, goes through knee surgery. It's hampered him physically. He's had a tough time getting back into shape, but hey, he really has played well during this 7-game win streak for the Aggies.
Yeah, he is, and like we said, if we can get that consistency from him the remainder of this season from the bench to go along with Z and Akin, it just makes us that much better, It makes another threat from the bench that people have to worry about, another guy that you have to guard, especially if he's shooting the ball well. But, yeah, he did a lot of good things. I thought his defense was on point yesterday. Obviously, his offense was there, and he made some big shots, some big plays that we needed at a crucial moment. And, that's what a veteran's supposed to do. Like I said, he's had a lot of experience. He's put his time in, and he took care of the business that he needed to yesterday and last night. And, it was like we said, it's good when you have guys in the starting 5 that can do that. But if you can rely on some guys to give you some of that bench production as well, it only makes you a better team. And
we're going to need it because, again, it's the 3rd game in 3 days, all that kind of stuff. Here's what Shulga and Steven said about RJ last night.
Super proud. He's been around for a long time. This is his 5th year, so he has a lot of experience, and I'm sure he plays out there with complete calmness. He knows what to do. He knows the system really well. Obviously, he's been with Coach Odom for a long time. So, just staying composed, whatever's going on with the game, and just staying level-headed.
I would just add one thing. I'm just happy for RJ. Proud of RJ, but just really happy for RJ that he's able to show what he can do because he's a special player, and he's been showing up for us big time down the stretch of this season.
Coach says everybody loves number 5. That's what they're saying for sure. And on our personnel last night, I thought one thing after the game the coach talked about, and maybe you can comment on this after we hear it. He talked about how in the first half he wasn't happy at all with the way the guys played inside. And we're talking about the big players, our posts in Dan Akin and in Trevin Dorius.
Dan, is huge for our team. You saw how he played last night. And tonight he had an uncharacteristic half. And I challenged him at halftime. Probably wasn't happy, with me challenging him at halftime. But I knew that he would respond appropriately, as did Trevin. Trevin just lost his confidence a little bit. It's like, we can't do that. You're too good, this time of year. To lose your confidence. You got to go for it.
There was a couple times early in the second half, Jalen, after they'd been called out by the coach at the half, Trevin blocked a couple of shots and got some boards when he needed to, and then Akin, again, was much better. That made a difference to have that inside presence when Boise made penetration in the game, too, defensively.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously we get that presence from our team from the outside, but what makes us tough is when we do get that inside presence from Trevin, from Dan, from guys like that, it does help our team a lot. Even when, Bairstow and Shulga are able to get inside and do some mid-post work or get to the rim and finish, or on defense, like you said, if we got some rim protectors, guys that aren't going to give up O-boards, it makes all the world a difference for our team. And in the first half, the coach was right. We didn't do that kind of stuff, but we tightened him up. Like you said, those guys respond to the challenges that he gave them, which is great to know that you can go out there and you can challenge your players and they're going to respond to it. And they came out and they both had great second half, and that's what we needed. We like we said, we had some uncharacteristic things happen, some uncharacteristic turnovers in that first half, but we did go out that second half and clean it up. And like I said, I think our defense and rebounding and rim protection was really heightened in that second half, and I think that's what was a big reason for us winning that game.
All right, let's turn it then towards this game. Here's what Coach Brian Dutcher says. Here's how San Diego State wins all the games they win, which incidentally, in college basketball, they have won in the last 14 years. They have the third best record in college basketball. Only Gonzaga and Houston are better. They have the sixth best record over the last 14 years as far as, again, what they have done as far as winning percentage, and then eighth on the road and in neutral court games, which is where this game is. And here's what the coach said.
We play hard on defense, and that's why we've always had the success we've had. We defend and we rebound. And then we play with great freedom on offense, and we make enough shots to win games.
That's what he says is their formula. And then he said this year they've kind of done a little bit more tweaking on the offensive side. And maybe you can talk about this after we hear what he had to say about offense.
We've tried all year to become better at turning these ball screens or handoffs into the paint, putting pressure on the defense, and then making the right play, whether it's a dump down to the post player, kick out to the perimeter for a shot or another attack. But getting downhill is important, and we try to do it. We try to get as many paint touches as we can. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but that's the game plan. Try to get a paint touch and then make something positive happen.
You know, because all these teams, Jalen, they line up around the three-point arc and seem to kind of get into this rotation and weave everybody, and then guys come over and start screening and all that. But look at how it's helped us to have pick and rolls and lobs to Dan or to Trevin. For San Diego State, they're doing the same kind of things. You do have to attack the paint. You have to get inside. And the Aztecs have done a pretty good job against the Aggies with inside paint touches against Utah State.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you get downhill, you get paint touches like their coach was saying. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And then, like I said, it just you rely on the player to make the correct play, whether, like you said, it's a dump down, whether you pull up jumper, floater, get all the way to the rim, get fouled, kick it out for threes, whatever it could be. You know, it's just a freedom, motion offense. And then, like you said, this game from both teams, you're going to see a lot of pick and roll work or a lot of pick and pop work, obviously, if Taylor Funk's setting that screen for us. So, you know, you're going to see a lot of similarities offensively. You know, I think we have better shooters and stuff like that, so you're going to see some down screens, some double screens and stuff for some of our shooters. And San Diego State will be a little bit more aggressive trying to get to the paint, trying to get those paint touches, trying to get, you know, their athletes on rolls, stuff like that. But you are going to see a lot of similarities in a motion type of offense and a lot of screen and roll, screen and pop kind of stuff this game. And, you know, that's just kind of the direction that the sport is going. But it's okay because, like I said, it makes the players have a little bit more freedom, makes them have to be fundamentally sound, and it makes them have to make the right plays. And it makes for a fun game to watch. And I think tonight, like I said, is going to be a game that goes all the way down to the wire. That's really what I'm feeling.
I'm looking for some wood to knock on, like knock on wood. Adam Seiko in the tournament hasn't made a three-pointer yet because we've seen what he can do. And we know Matt Bradley. He can be a little explosive. He can make a tough jumper with somebody right on you and all that. We have not seen in the two games what Darion Trammell can do, this transfer from Seattle. And last night it was mentioned to him when he scored 15 that you haven't been scoring much lately.
Just staying confident. My teammates, my coaches, they've been telling me just keep shooting, just keep going. They put the ultimate trust in me. So I appreciate that from them. But, yeah, like I said, just take the shots. When you're in a slump, only way you can get out is shoot out of it, really. And I feel like they made it easier on me by putting the confidence in me to keep doing that.
And, of course, we saw it with Taylor Funk. Just keep on shooting when you're in a funk because eventually he got out of it too. But Trammell is a little different gear than a lot of guys have. Jalen, when he's freewheeling out there defensively, offensively, he's a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like I said, he did good things against us the first game at their place. And, you know, he's going to want to get that game back. Obviously, playing in the Spectrum, didn't get to play a full game. I think you're going to have to look for him to be pretty aggressive. You know, like you said, I think he's going to be one of the key guys that's going to try to get paint touches, try to get to the rim, or also try to facilitate and make things happen. And then obviously, you know, him, Butler, and Bradley, you know, they're going to pick up full court man, try to get some steals, try to be aggressive defensively and make us panic, try to make us turn it over. So I think he's going to be a key guy too. I think he's going to do a lot more than obviously we saw in the Spectrum because of his early exit. So I think he's going to try to get that game back, and he's going to be pretty aggressive today.
All righty, so that leads us to Jalen Moore's keys to the game. The Aggies and Aztecs play for the third time, and like we said, for the fourth time in 5 years in this conference in the championship game. We'll have the keys to the game brought to you today by the Concierge Home Health Service in the comfort of your home from Primrose Home Care and Hospice, locally owned since 2006. So, Jalen, what are the deals the Aggies need to do to win this game?
Yeah, I think most people know this, coaching staff, players, we got to take care of the ball. We know, Coach Dutcher just said it. That's what they do. They play defense. They play aggressive defense. They try to make you turn it over. They try to get live ball turnovers where they can score off of it, but they'll take any turnover they can get. So, obviously, the way that we've been handling the ball, Hamoda, Steven, Shulga, Sean, it's one of those games where we just got to take care of it, be ready for some traps, be ready for some run and jumps. They might throw some different things at us, but we got to make sure we take care of the ball. I think that's the biggest key. Number two, we can't let San Diego State be the aggressors the whole game, and I mean that offensively and defensively. We can't let them get us in foul trouble. We can't let them play harder than us on defense. We just can't let them be those aggressors the whole game. I think we got to match that aggressiveness, match the intensity, which I think we've done a really good job of doing that against Boise State and against New Mexico. But I think against San Diego State in this championship game, we're going to have to take it to another level because I think they're going to, and we got to match it. And I think we're definitely capable of that. And number three, I think this is really key, and I almost think if we do this key, I think we for sure win the game. I think we need to try to score 70 points or above. If we do that against San Diego State, I think we really put ourselves in a great position to win this game. Obviously, if we don't, you score below 70, you stay in the 60s range, San Diego State's going to have a really good chance because of the defense they play. But if you make them have to try to score with you, I think we have a greater chance of winning this game. So I think 70 is the goal for us to get to, at least 70 or above. And I think if we do those three things, we come away with the win today.
What is it? We're 75 points and above. We haven't lost yet this year, I don't think, in a game. We shoot better than the opponents. We're 24-1. Now, in the two games against San Diego State, they did get 85 in the game down there, but that's Seiko had the big deal, and we were trying to come from behind. It was a little different type of game. The one in Logan, 63-61. That's kind of how they want to play the game. And we actually have done a better job in the two games with points off of turnovers than they have. But again, those runs down there and up here were big, I think, in this game. So, Jalen, watch it, enjoy it on Channel 2 starting at 4 o'clock, and then we'll be back with you right after the game, okay?
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you very much, Jalen Moore, for joining with us again pregame and postgame today on Game Day as it continues. Brought to you by Alpine Home Medical, the premier one-stop shop for your home medical equipment needs. And also brought to you by Les Olson Company, your office technology partner. Remember, their website's great, lesolson.com. And coming up on Game Day, more from the coaches, more from the players.
And I know our guys aren't going to complain about it. I know their guys aren't going to complain about it because there's a lot of other teams in our league and in all of these leagues that would love to be in this situation right now playing for a conference championship. And so if it's 1 a.m, they play.
Coach laughed at that one, but it's really true. But you're going to hear Brian Dutcher. I think it affected him in losing to Boise State last year, playing the late game. The Aggies were in that spot this year, and we'll hear that in the next segment as we continue on Game Day on KVNU before the Aggies and the Aztecs for the title.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Elements Restaurant has something new and exciting to share. If you like barbecue, you're going to love Thursday's Brews and Barbecue at Elements. Mouth-watering smoked brisket, perfectly seasoned and slow-cooked for hours. Your taste buds will say thank you. Try the brisket sandwich served with coleslaw or brisket plate complete with Southwest mac and cheese and coleslaw. Don't miss Brews and Barbecue for lunch or for dinner with live in-house music every Thursday at Elements Restaurant next to Spring Hill Suites on the south end of Logan, or call 750-5171 for reservations.
Are you ready for Aggie basketball? KVNU Game Day returns.
Utah State's a great team, and it's going to be a heck of a championship tomorrow. We got a lot of great teams in this league, and really proud of our guys, the way we battled. You got to make some shots, and we missed some free throws that kind of was at a crucial point when they built a little bit of a lead. But always proud of our guys, the way we battled, and we did a great job in that first half. They understood the game plan, executed it perfectly, and we knew that Utah State would respond. Like I said, they're a great team, and they made some good shots in the second half, and it's a game of making some shots, and they were able to do that.
And won 72-62 over Leon Rice's team, Boise State. That was his opening comment. We went on with more of our post-game game day last night on Aggie Call, but I guess they did continue to try to hammer him, and he wouldn't. I mean, the coaches can't talk about the officials much, but you could tell he was annoyed. Again, the flop call happened at about 8 minutes to go in the game. The Degenhart fourth foul happened at 7:45 when it was a charge that he thought that Degenhart had taken from R.J. Idlerock. They called it a blocking call. And then, of course, later on he melded down and did get that technical foul called as he was slapping on the floor. And then, the Ashworth missed the two shots, all of that stuff. But, again, that was kind of a meltdown in some ways. But, hey, Utah State clamped down on Boise State in that game last night in the second half, holding the Broncos to, again, shooting for the game second half, 28%. They only made 1 of 9 threes after they had 11 of 18 threes, I think, against the Aggies in the earlier game at Boise. Great stuff. So Boise won the title last year, so it'll be a new champion this year, either the Aggies or Aztecs playing today. Like we said, there have been a lot of times when San Diego State has been in this championship game, like, for instance, 9 of the last 10 years, 6th straight year, 15th time ever in the final game for the Mountain West Tournament in the 24 years. And again, this Keyshawn Johnson's been around the program the last couple of years. They have won it against Utah State during the time he was there, the one time, but the Aggies beat him twice.
Everybody play their best when this time in March comes, so every game is just a hard-fought game. It's just everybody playing their best, and we just got to come out with the win.
Again, that's what he said last night, and when asked about it, and Coach Dutcher was kind of asked the same question about getting there a lot, but again, losing to Boise last year. They won the year against the Aggies, but then they have lost the other two against the Aggies.
I can't even remember all those games, to be honest with you. I just know they're hard fought. I mean, we're asking these kids to do an impossible task, is to play under 24 hours from completing a game. Last night we had the late game, or last year, got back to the hotel at noon or midnight and played the next day at 3. So we got a couple more hours rest. And so you're going to see two teams that play hard as heck, but probably not at their very best. You can't play at your very best with that kind of fatigue. It ends up just being gritty and gutty, and someone makes enough plays to win. So that's March basketball. And I told the guys, if we play to our capabilities and someone beats us, then we're going to tip our hat. But we have to play to our capabilities. And if someone bounces up and makes shots and we get open shots and they don't go in, we'll live with that. The thing we don't want to do is not play up to our capabilities.
So he was playing up a lot of this 3-hour difference that they had to get back to the hotel and get more rest than the Aggies had, probably being around at Thomas and Mack and doing post-game and all that kinds of stuff that they didn't have last year in this series. Of course, they did beat San Jose State easily last night in the semifinals. But again, for Keyshawn Johnson and the team, that was a tough game, that first one in the series, the tournament, when they took care of Colorado State.
Right now we just locked in. It's kind of hard to play 3 games in 3 back-to-back days. Each game is physical. Everybody's playing their hardest, win or go home. So we just pretty much locked in. We're not really dwelling on anything like that. So we're just going to go back to the drawing boards and learn and try to get the job done tomorrow.
Yep, job done and get those 3 hours extra of rest is what they were all talking about after the game. Meantime, Coach Odom had the late night. Somebody said to him, gosh, Coach, it's midnight. and all that kind of stuff as we're talking. And Coach Odom says, okay, do you want to take off and all that? But again, he earlier talked about the fact that everybody in the conference would take this chance that the Aggies have got to play the late game and still get back and come back for the championship game. We talked about it last night. It was mentioned by some people, that play basketball, AAU tournaments when these guys have played down through the years. They played 3 or 4 games a day. They turn around and play 2 or 3 or 4 the next day, getting up at 6:30, playing till 10 o'clock at night, that kind of stuff. What Odom was proud about last night is what the team really showed and what they have been all about.
But really proud of the effort. These guys had a goal over the summer to compete for a championship in the Mountain West. Really competitive league, and it's a league that needs to be celebrated. We're happy to be a part of it and happy to be a representative in the championship game tomorrow. That was a goal of these guys over the summer.
And they get there after 18 and 16, losing in the quarterfinals last year, getting to the NIT, losing that game at home. Again, the coach was saying something like, okay, I told the guys in a timeout, we've got to be us. Well, after the game, Max Shulga tried to explain that to the media of what was the coach talking about.
I think just play how we play. We know that we need to move the ball, pass the ball to each other, cut, just help each other. Teams don't win with one guy. It's 5 players on the court and everyone else on the bench. And, just move around, pass the ball, and eventually we'll find our shot.
For instance, in the first half of the game, where would the Aggies have been if Sean Bairstow hadn't showed up like he did in the early part of the game to keep the Aggies even in it and within not double digits down at half? And again, we found out something about Sean's health.
Sean was huge. Sean was flying around. He got hurt in our, last regular season game and, has been able to recover. He only had limited practice, leading into the conference tournament. And that's kind of how it is nowadays. Like, everybody's kind of banged up, this time of year. To see him flying up and down the court, in the last 2 days was huge.
It was huge to get him going. And then, again, there were so many stars in the game last night. Max Shulga might have been the guy at the end, along with R.J. Idlerock, what they did. Here's the game, 56-53. It's right at the time again, the game when Leon Rice isn't happy at all. And here's Max Shulga as Sean penetrates and passed it back to him for a 3, and then he hit another 3. Is that him making a play, or is just that the Aggie offense?
Yeah, definitely flowed the offense. I mean, the open man is the go-to man in our team, so those times it was me, and I was able to knock him down, obviously. And, just flow the offense.
Flow of the offense, big plays for Max Shulga last night. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is one of our sponsors. They're in Providence and in Logan. Remember, migraines and headaches can be really debilitating for you on your daily performances, and Cache Valley ENT can help you with your migraine and headache needs as well. Ear, Nose, and Throat. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat brings you Eric Franson gets with the Aggie players once in a while, and you find out more. This guy could be huge in this game today. He might be able to add some defense. He's going to need some playing time. We're playing third game, 3 days. Z Hamoda off the bench. Let's find out more about him and some of the interesting questions that Eric can toss.
Let's get to know Z Hamoda a little bit better here. So there are no wrong answers, okay? So just whatever comes to your mind. First thing you do after a hard day of practice when you go home, what's the first thing you do?
Lay in the bed. Lay in the bed and get food, eat food. Basically.
You're all about getting to sleep and recharging.
Yeah.
That's fair. I feel you.
Yeah.
If you weren't playing basketball, what would you be doing?
Probably playing volleyball or high jump.
Really?
Or like track and field, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Did you do some of that in high school?
Yes, I did it in high school. I was great on it too.
But basketball was your choice.
Yes, it's like a family thing.
Nice, very good. Do you prefer M&Ms or Skittles?
Skittles.
You're more about the sugar than the chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay. Cell phone, is it iPhone, Android, or other?
iPhone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Big Apple guy?
Yeah, I'm an Apple guy.
Do you have a spirit animal? What would be your spirit animal?
Spirit animal? I don't know. Spirit animal. I would say panther.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Panther?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be very cool. Stealthy.
I know, right?
Okay, and then finally my last question. How would you describe the way that you dance?
So bad. I'm not good at all.
You're not embarrassed to admit that.
Yeah. I just say it. I'm not bad, but not good at the same time.
Very good. Z Hamoda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We hope in some way he's dancing after the game today. The NCAA big dance is what we want the Aggies to, again, for sure being locked in, have no doubts about where they're at. There shouldn't be any more now. I mean, let's face it, we've got 26 wins for just the 8th time in Aggie history. There's only been 7 years better. The Aggies won 7 in a row, 10 of the last 12. Again, it's their 4th title game in 5 years into this one. They've now taken care of teams like, Boise State a couple of times that are in the top 30. So they got some quad one wins. They've done it away from home. There should be all the answers in that area coming up. All right, let's do another Aggie segment of Game Day, brought to you in part by Cache Valley Bank. Remember, Cache Valley Bank here to support and be your partner along the way. And also the trailers and flatbed work trucks available for you at Young Truck and Trailer Center out on the Highway 89. Bring you Game Day on KVNU coming back. The game's at 4 on Channel 2.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. At White Pine, we value compassion, integrity, and service. We are committed to serving you and treating your family as our family. We will be here when you need us most, to listen, to help, and to provide exactly what your circumstances require. At White Pine, we promise to dedicate our time and attention to you and your family. We invite you to come by and meet us. We're confident you'll feel a difference.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Feeling overwhelmed by Social Security and Medicare? Come to our free seminar the third Thursday, March 16th at 7 p.m. We'll provide all the information you need. Starting Medicare and planning for retirement shouldn't be stressful. Let us help. We'll help you navigate all the ins and outs. Call 752-9493. Come see us the third Thursday, March 16th at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493. Walk-ins are welcome.
Girls, insist he take you to Jarek's. Picking out your wedding ring is an experience you will never forget. Come to a place where the mood is right and the setting is perfect for romance. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan. The perfect collection of memorable designs, classic creation, and modern marvels. If you want an intimate, romantic experience you will never forget, then insist he takes you to Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's at 930 North Main in Logan.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
Prodigy Brewing on Center Street is looking to hire motivated team members to join their talented executive chef, Dustin Kirby. This position in Prodigy Brewing's kitchen will help create an amazing dining experience for their brew pub customers. If you are experienced or are willing to learn in a fast-paced environment, visit Prodigy Brewing today, located at 25 West Center Street in Logan. Prodigy Brewing is proud to offer competitive pay, employee perks, a great environment, and more.
It's KVNU Game Day with more analysis and more previews of today's game with Al Lewis.
Just the culture of our program. All these guys will tell you, when they come to San Diego State, they're told, if you defend at a high level, if you don't like playing defense, don't come to this program, and then we'll let you play with great freedom offensively.
And Brian Dutcher starts off our coaches segment of Game Day before the Aggies tournament game against San Diego State for the title in the Mountain West Conference again. Brian Dutcher has a 14-3 record in the conference tournament games that he has played. He's lost to Utah State twice and to Boise State last year. And, of course, does have a slight winning record against the Aggies over the years. But the Aggies starting to, again, dent into this. Think about this. Aggies played San Diego State for a football championship. We played it for basketball championship now 3 times in this league. This is getting to be a real rivalry. We actually have a conference record of 2-3 against the Aztecs. We're 1-6 against a ranked San Diego State team. They are number 20 in the nation going into this year. Again, they did beat number 5 San Diego State in 2000. The Aggies did for the title on the Sam Merrill shot. And again, Coach Odom takes his team all the way from an 8th place spot preseason to the conference championship game.
I'm happy for our guys. I really am. I'm happy that they have the opportunity, that they seeked, worked for, all summer, while understanding there's no guarantees, and there's no guarantees in life. Our guys understand that. They're going to have to play really, really well in order to have a chance, tomorrow to beat a great, San Diego State team. They've had an awesome season, this year. For us, our guys are excited. If you were in the locker room just now, you'd see that they're excited, but they understand, there's more work to do. They want to go for it. And I know San Diego State feels the same way.
Our coaches segment on Game Day brought to you by Prodigy Brewing on Center Street. Remember, their Sunday brunch is tomorrow that you can be a part of down there. Again, in continuing with the coach on San Diego State, it's a team like Jalen and I have talked about, more balanced than maybe they've ever been before as far as offense, and they can all play defense.
Led by Bradley, they're the deepest team conference. Their bench is very, very strong. They sub 2 pretty much at every position, and so they can withstand stretches where their starters are not in the game. Their bench can even elevate at times, and do elevate at times, their level of play.
And the coach last night, if you're not listening late night last night, maybe you weren't with us on postgame, he elaborated on the win against Boise State. Again, a miserable first half that could have been worse in some ways.
Yeah, certainly, we're really fortunate to win. Boise really came after us hard in that first half. I mean, they were really impressive, and we're blowing up a lot of our ball screens, and we're playing a physical game. We're doing a really good job of getting the ball down low, in and near the basket. Really just playing tough and physical, and they clearly were the aggressor, throughout the half, forcing, us to make some turnovers. We had 10 turnovers in the first half, rush shooting, just a lot of different plays, and, that they were making that were putting us in uncomfortable positions.
Remember, it was 13 of their points off of turnovers in the first half. They got none in the second half, and the Aggies ramped up the defense, and that was the one thing the coach saw was 10 straight times Boise State did not score against the Aggies' defense, plus the Aggies were efficient.
Yeah, definitely the balance of the two. You've got to score baskets to win a basketball game, and certainly we were beginning to play well offensively, and I think we got a couple of stops and we're able to get out and go. We're at our best when we're able to do that. Score stop is what we call it, and also it can become stop score.
And it got the Aggies to this one. The 2 games against them, the Aggies again have shot 47% in the game at San Diego, 38% in the game in Logan, and made 11 of 33 threes down there, only made 5 of 19. So they got to shoot threes better. They were 6 of 10 free throws down there. Meantime, though, San Diego State was 17 of 20. Then neither team shot it great at free throws, but San Diego State has out-rebounded the Aggies in both games. But actually, they've had committed a few more turnovers than the Aggies have in the 2 games this year. 85-75 down there, 63-61 here. Aztecs, again, with 17 wins, 9 losses against Utah State. They've never lost to the Aggies at home in the Mountain West. The only time we ever beat them was when it was Cox Arena, before it was Viejas Arena, and Stu Morrill took a team in there and won a game at San Diego. But in the tournament and on neutral floor, it's 3-3, and only New Mexico has a winning record against San Diego State. The Aggies are 3-3. They're even with them on the Thomas and Mack Center. This is your Cache Valley Bank stat. They've won 44 games at the Thomas and Mack Center, San Diego State has, in the past 14 years. Villanova's next to that as far as winning on a floor that's not your home floor. They've won 37 in Madison Square Garden. How about that for San Diego State? All right, we'll come back with our last segment after this. Game day. Remember, the game is going to start a little after 4 o'clock. They just finished the Big Ten game with Penn State beating Indiana, so the next game is going to be on. They'll analyze that for a little bit. I would imagine 4:05, 4:10, but it's Channel 2 that will have it here at the top of the hour, and game day continues on KVNU. As we have learned this year, viruses can travel through the air, causing an illness. Most virus droplets fall to the ground, but smaller particles may remain in the air longer. Now more than ever, you need clean air in your home. Let Advanced Heating and AC install an air filtration system in your home with HEPA filters. Dust, pollen, and more are floating in the air in your home. Get rid of them with a system that promotes proper ventilation and filtration. Learn how by calling Advanced Heating and AC, and it's online at advancedheating-ac.com.
This year, celebrate your anniversary with diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Adorned in diamonds, she will feel elegant and cherished. Choose from a large selection of diamond bands, diamond pendants, and diamond earrings. Also, you'll enjoy a beautiful selection of diamonds mounted in rose gold. We price our diamond jewelry with an integrity price guarantee so that you can be assured the best possible value. With 12 months interest-free financing available. For the people and occasions that matter most, S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Don't get caught without power to your home or business. This is Tyler with Golden Spike Electric. We offer Generac backup generators to keep your home or business warm, avoiding frozen pipes, loss of valuable food, or even a flooded basement. Golden Spike Electric is certified and factory trained, so you know it will be installed right and properly maintained. Contact Golden Spike Electric so you'll never be without power again. Online at gsegenerators.com. We also service other brands, Golden Spike Electric and Generac, power you can count on.
Hello, I'm Daryl, the guy who started Daryl's Appliance back in the 1970s. A lot has changed in 50 years, but not the great people of Cache Valley. We love our customers and we thank you for keeping us in business.
Hello, I'm Daryl's son Jeff. We have 5 factory-trained technicians, which means that we will have your appliances performing at their best. Our parts department has most of the parts that our techs need to repair your appliance on the first visit. Daryl's Appliance, open till 6 weekdays and until 5 on Saturdays.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Jarek's Fine Jewelry on News Talk KVNU.
Yeah, it all started with our defense. You know, any championship that's won, you know, is going to be because, you know, you have a solid defensive team.
And again, that's what Steve Fisher brought to San Diego State. Brian Dutcher has continued on. They're known for that. 23 years. Dutch has been around this program, been their head coach for the last 6 after Fisher stepped aside, and they've had nothing but success in this conference. But again, winning championships games. Aggies have got them twice, Boise once. They have won 1 in the last 4 years, but they're there again for the 6th straight year in this championship game against the Aggies today. As the game will get started here, again, right after 4 o'clock on Channel 2. We'll be on immediately after the game for post-game of Game Day. I just want, last night during the broadcast, Steve Lapis, who was doing it for CBS Sports Network, was saying that Stephen Ashworth should pay more attention to what was going on the court than trying to get the crowd to go. Now, San Diego State says it's great, the fans that they get there. Brian Dutcher said they sold all their tickets. They'll have a lot more people. They probably will have more than Utah State fans in the stands. But the Aggie crowd, the herd, we found one of the band members called us last night post-game. They've had a great time down there. And Stephen, even though he wasn't asked about, the guy said it on TV, he was asked about, again, always trying to get the crowd to make noise. And, again, Stephen is a good cheerleader.
Yeah, no doubt. I think there's definitely a balance between all of those things, making sure that you're still focused on, you know, the main thing, and the main thing is out there on the court. But the crowd can have a huge effect on the outcome of games, and we know that from what we experience every single home game at the Spectrum, and we take a lot of pride in being able to call that our home court. And so when the fans are showing up the way that they are down here in Las Vegas, it just adds that extra element that we're able to play for something more than ourselves.
So, again, that's what Stephen had to say. And, again, kind of answering that question, I think, a little bit last night, even though maybe it wasn't asked to him from the people who were watching on TV or whatever. I think it was one of the reporters that was down there after the game. We're getting ready for Utah State and San Diego State for, again, the 4th time in the last 5 years. The starters for SC Needham Jewelers, Lamont Butler, Darion Trammell, Matt Bradley, Keyshawn Johnson, and Nathan Mensah for San Diego State. Sean Bairstow, Stephen Ashworth, Max Shulga, Taylor Funk, and Trevin Dorius for the Aggies. Bench is big for San Diego State, as we've talked about in this game, and bench is big for Utah State in this game as well. It's 3rd game in 3 days. Guys will put it all out there. Both of these teams should be in the NCAA tournament. There should be no doubt about it. Boise should be in. Does the conference get a Nevada team, which is still ranked in the top 35, I think it is, of the net, as I saw the net today. The Aggies stayed at 18. San Diego State, I think, is 15 in the net rankings as they go into this. Penn State was a team that was a little bit on the borderline, but they're going to play for the championship in the Big Ten. But I think most people thought they would still get in the tournament. Penn State and Purdue will be the championship there. Vermont and Howard have won championships today, and more titles will go out and automatic bids, and that's what the Aggies and the Aztecs are going for in this game. And all we want to see, again, is Utah State basketball the way it needs to be played. And one more final from Stephen Ashworth on summing that up, what it is.
Champions always answer. That's Aggie basketball. You're going to have games where there's runs that are made. You're going to have games where the ball isn't dropping. You're turning it over. You're not playing aggressively. You're kind of on your heels. And that's what we saw a little bit in the first half. And in that second half, we saw Aggie basketball. We were aggressive. We were playing free. We were going for it. We had no fear. We were taking the shots that we should take and then trusting in each other when we needed to.
No fear against San Diego State. You got to show that, again, because they will intimidate you, and they try to physically with their defense, and then that leads to their offense. Our Jason Walker over on the Full Court Press and from Cache Valley Daily has an interesting idea. 2019, we split the series during the year, and the Aggies won the title game. In 2020, San Diego State swept the series, and the Aggies won the title game. 2021, we swept the season series, and San Diego State won the title game. So this year they swept. Title game should belong to the Aggies, according to his scenario, looking at how that's gone down through these 4 of the 5 years that we have played them for the championship. So we'll be here immediately after the game's over to take your calls, and we'll have lots of texting. 339-0321 is the phone number. John Russell will join with me. We'll get back with Jalen Moore. We thank our sponsors for bringing it to you again pregame. And again, it's Utah State and San Diego State coming up at 4 o'clock on Channel 2. So right now on Channel 2 for the game. National CBS Television. We'll be here right after the game to talk about it. We're hoping Aggie win.